I get to do a video maybe this week about putting goats out to pasture. I'm really excited. It's going to be fun. I got one of these. Wish me luck on that. All right, I got some other stuff to show you. Hang tight. If you go to our Amazon store, we have a link. If you know, there's sections there for CBs, 10-meter radios. You name it, GMRS, you got it. You want to play with it and talk to people and communicate. This is one of the antennas I use, and this will work with anything from a CB to you can even plug in a 10-meter to it. You can pretty much hook up anything, scanners, you name it. It'll play ball with all of them, and it's really easy to put up. And it just sort of swings in the wind, no big deal. Someone said I should do some kind of an update. Look, that's how much we didn't really use a whole lot of firewood this year. I mean, I expected to use a lot more, and it's still. Remember, I did the video on this. It's still holding up great. And ICB totes, and connect them and do your rain catchment. These are really easy to do. So easy to do. And I mean, some places you can buy this IBC tote. They make attachments for down here, and they're real easy. You just put the inlet going in. These have been full. They've been full all year. Yep, still full. And I've had this one here particular. Fred is going to start trash with me again. Had this put up all winter long. It's frozen. It's thawed out. It's frozen again, thawed out, and it's doing just fine. And so keep in mind they will hold up. You can get them in some places for free, and some places you can get them for $40, and some places you can get them for $70. But do not buy them new. New, they're like $400. Yeah, don't do that. But this on site, here's one of them. This little archery section that the kids have set up. They've been doing their target practice and stuff. That was that's a pot. And I shot that one shot with a 50 BMG, and it did that. Anyways, but this is where the kids have been playing, and I need to do an updated video with them getting crazy out here. Here's my other rain catchment, second one. So altogether, this is like 350 gallons. So altogether, it's like, I mean, you're looking at like 700 gallons of water. You can use it for, they make treatment systems for these, so you can treat them. You can filter them. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these things. People use them for emergency firefighting, off-grid. You need to fight a fire. You have to attach a water pump to one of these. That's a gas-powered water pump, and pump the water from here. That's 350 gallons that you can fight a fire with, or get water to your garden in a drought. And you know, there's all sorts of uses for these things. I wanted to share because I know a lot of you are interested in this sort of thing. It's easy to hook up. A couple of 2x4s, levels it. You're done. It's that easy. There is a common misconception with fuel storage. Now, look, I spend a lot of time at everything tractor, right? I go to all these different freaking farm-related and co-ops and stuff like that. I'm always hanging out at these places. So you can get these. These were formerly used for oil, and you can take something like these that are, I just stuck some stickers on here just to let the people know, danger, scary, stay away from, leave them alone. And that's the main reason for that. That's about all I could find to put on here, and I just want to keep people from messing with it. But you can get these for free, or $7, $10, $15, but don't pay $150 or $200, you know what I mean, for stuff like this, because there's guys like us out there. Trust me, there's people like us out there that have extra, and It's like, oh, you can just grab it, put it in the back of your truck. So we're people. We're real people out there. I know a lot of people are like, no, wait, I don't believe you. But the pump, this pump moves. This thing's awesome. $50 was what I spent more on that than I did this whole contraption here. But the pump is awesome. I just need to add some type of the hose contraption and everything. I don't want to do the gas station pump type thing. I just want to do the filters. So I want to do some filters off to the side here. I'm making this legit, and there's some common misconceptions on diesel storage for a lot of you, and fuel and gas, you know, gas related storage. But the main thing is like shelf life. I use a couple of different methods for shelf life. I've always got to sit down for this when people are I've got Pride G, and I've talked about this before. It completely brings it back to stability. So if you bought your fuel, and there's this your G and here's your D, but if you had bought fuel and you left it in your garage or whatever for say a whole year, 12 months, and you're like, I don't think that's any good anymore, I'm afraid to run it or whatever, just add the proper amount of this, like for your diesel or for your gas, and it'll bring it right back to refinery. And that's what you need to know. Pride D and Pride G are the two go-tos for that. And of course I have to keep stuff for everything. I keep my winterized diesel stabilizer and all kinds of emergency use type stuff for fuel additives and everything. But some people back in the day, they used to use kerosene, and I think they still actually do in construction and stuff like that. They still use kerosene mixtures and stuff for diesel. But I know the common misconception for this stuff here, and well, just keeping diesel, it's 28 months is your kind of like, back in the day, you used to be able to keep diesel for about 5 years. And with the biodiesel, it started causing, the more water that can get into your fuel. And if you can keep the water out, it'll keep the fuel from going bad faster, because biodiesel, the rate of that can speed up. But anyways, so I've got 28 months. So here's the thing. If you keep it cycled through and you add fresh fuel, take fuel out, add fresh fuel, take fuel out, just keep it going, just like you do with all your preps, you will have, and your little survival time chart, another 28 months after the balloon goes up to keep going. You know what I mean? It's like, you have to think of it like that. You can't sit there and go, oh, I'm going to turn over and, stick my belly up in the air. You can't give up on so many things. Like, you're probably like, BA, what's all the show and tell about? You don't have to. Look, here's the other thing, okay? Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. And I want to talk about that just for a sec. Backup locations, spacing stuff out. Don't keep it all piled up in one place. It's, if something happens to your primary location, you want to have it somewhere else. That's where is it affordable? Can I do it? Kind of thing. And with everything going on right now, gas prices, I'm not calling it before everyone else calls it, obviously. I'm not that smart, but I do see the signs. I see it coming. And we talk about back in, I did the, a relevant video would be my video of the collapse of oil. And it wasn't because of just the peak oil aspect where I was explaining it that way. It was the conspiracy behind peak oil, okay? Because back in the day, they used the crisis of peak oil to get you, get you to pay more at the pump. And we know now, a lot of us have seen this stuff happen so many times, and that's what got us into prepping, was we had seen this stuff happen so many times. It's like, well, and here we go, this dog and pony show, they're rolling this one out now. The man behind the curtain, is doing his thing again. And gas prices. I mean, for me, diesel, because we generally use diesel around here, and diesel for us is it's going to hit. I think it's already at 407 or something like that. It's probably going to go a little bit higher, and I think it's. Oh, as you were, I know, because that was last Friday. That says that's right. That was Friday. That was Friday. It was 407, and so now it's like 436 or something like that, I think. And by Friday, we're going to be at what, 160 bucks a barrel for oil. So we're going to be at. It's going to be insane because we haven't even calculated inflation. Inflation just hit 10. It's at 10%. It's not 7.5 anymore. It's not 8. It's 10. They haven't calculated that yet. So they're going to have to calculate inflation. I never thought I would be alive to say inflation just hit 10. This is insane. I didn't think I would see the day that inflation would hit 10. Inflation's hitting 10, and fuel is going to be 160 a barrel by Friday. Get ready for it. It's going to be epic. They're getting ready to install I just, caught wind of this, but they're going to be reinstalling the red phone in the White House to communicate with Russia. And I heard about that today. And that was the whole, any of you that have lived long as I have, you've witnessed the whole, where they, oh, it wasn't me, I didn't shoot down your plane, that kind of thing. So that's what that's all about. That's like, they can just call one another quickly so that they've got their finger on the button. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. We're at finger at the button stage. Now, I've always said, as a prepper, I know I laugh about these things because being in the Marine Corps for so many years, you laugh about a lot of things that don't make sense. And even if it could be the craziest, most hard to endure pain and suffering, and you still will laugh. And I think it's just the way we're all forced through that, is to become people who don't, I don't know. We're all crazy. Anyway, but here's the thing. If we're at that stage, then it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. You're talking about the potential to go nuclear. But one country won't bomb the other one. It's always been this thing. It's like you want to invade that country to be able to take the resources from them and all that stuff. And but I guess we're too busy worried about getting oil from Russia and Iran, and now we're talking about Venezuela. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's where we're at. But this is how we deal with it. You've got to just keep working on your preps the best you can. The bug out bikes are a good idea right about now, right? There'll be plenty of gas, but during an EMP strike, that's something else for another time. But I had to move so you could see that. I got to do a video on that one. During the event of a tactical nuke, there is airburst, and at that point, you got to see that whole movie the day after. Not the day after tomorrow, but the day after. But that movie sums it up pretty good, and you got to go back to the old plans. If you come to our Patreon page, you'll see we've got PDF files on all the books. We have the largest PDF file collaboration on the planet on the internet. It's just for preppers, and it's got everything. And I know a lot of people along the way have jacked our stuff and kind of put it all over. That's what it's there for. It's for everyone to come and, get what they need, share it with the others, and that's important. But you can get your plans for surviving an EMP, your plans for your fallout shelters and all that stuff. So all those fancy books you see people spending $20 on or $40 on or $150 on or something like that, all of it has been shared over the internet 1,000 times for a lot of us that have been doing this for years. We already know that, but a lot of people do remakes of stuff and then publish it out. And it's like, dude, so-and-so did that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just been shared so many times that it's just out there on the internet for everybody. But collaboration and gathering with groups of people got us where, so you can pick it off and what you need. So that's the reason why I'm here. I'm here today just to talk about that. This wasn't really a show and tell. I didn't want to do a show and tell, but I think for a lot of you, you've got to realize it's not as hard as some people may make it sound. Canning items are back. I'm starting to see the canning items come back. You're going to have to go old school with your gardens. You might not be able to get as much fertilizer. There's a fertilizer shortage, so crops are going to be a little bare this year for a lot of folks. That's not looking good. A lot of this stuff is end times type stuff. The stuff that's happening right now, this is all freaking revelations. And I mean, I'm not a sign seeker. I'm just saying how it is. But you got to really pay attention to what's going on around you. This is crazy. And you're going to have to go and get the things you need to keep your family going. It was like I was saying with the fuel a while ago. Just with diesel storage, that's 28 months. 28 months. You have 28 more months to get whatever you're going to do going, because you're obviously not going anywhere else. There's not going to be any exodus or bugging out at that point. This is for your, there's no more going out in town today. We're not going to the mall. You know what I mean? It's not one of those kind of things anymore. Your life at Walmart is over. It's time to stay home. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. And it's not because of people are forcing you to stay at home. It's because it's not fit to go out there. It's too dangerous. You're going to get yourself killed. So that goes security. And I tell people all the time, security, dude, security. And not just this stuff. Someone's going to probably ask about gas. How long does gas last? And I've stored gas for freaking 3-4 years and dumped it into a lawnmower, and it fed just fine. The only problem you need to worry about is you need to make sure you put in some Prod-G, or, you know, if you've got diesel Prod-D, you need to make sure you put those additives in there, because if you don't do that, then you could possibly clog up some filters. You could gum some stuff up. So you need to make sure you're doing that, or you could, you know, the item, whatever you're running, might sound like garbage that's running, but it's pushing it through, it's burning and cooking it, and the machine is running. That's about, and so for generators, for those of you out there with generators, running one shouldn't be a problem on something like that. That's just something to keep in mind. But I'm telling you all this because, you know, I'm concerned. And if I'm concerned and I'm coming on and saying, hey, look, double check all your stuff, and this is your last minute, you can still jump in this. For those of you prepping out there, you can still jump in. It's not too late. It's not too late for any of you to jump in and start doing this stuff. You just need to look for the deal. You look for the deal, just like I said, go to your tractor outlets and places like that and get this stuff that's, you know, spend, like for me, I mean, you know, I might drop $15 on something, and you know what I mean? And it's significant item for my preps, and just make it work. Make it work. You got to get creative. You're going to have to start fiddling around with pipes and fittings, zip ties and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I have like the wife, I'm not a hoarder, but I tell, you know, there's a lot of stuff that me and the wife keep. We just won't throw away. Like spare pieces of fence. I don't throw it away. I keep it because I'm doing so many different animals that I might actually need to make a coop or something. Spare wood. I keep all the spare wood that I find. I don't give that stuff up. I use those spare items for freaking making, I might have to make a coop. I got more chickens. They're, my chickens are actually getting ready to, they're setting on their eggs, and they're going to be having some spring chickens. So I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be a whole bunch more chickens running around. They make their own chickens. You don't have to need, you don't need all that fancy equipment. Chickens do their own thing. The hens, they lay. It's actually better. It's actually better. It's faster. And man, I couldn't tell you how many times I've had one of those freaking little machines do it, and I had the hardest time. It works, but geez, it's such a headache. Keep adding water and all this stuff, and make sure the temperature's right. They do all that themselves. You just let them do it. I had to learn the hard way. And, you know, a lot of us preppers have learned from our mistakes with stuff. And I know I stopped at saying security. I'm serious, because you never know what could end up gone, you know, broken into, stolen. Things are going to get really freaky real soon. There's going to be some desperate people, and those desperate people are going to want what you have, and they are going to come for it. And they might, you know, do horrible bad things. And you need to look at it like I look at it. I mean, this isn't like who's got the biggest gun, you know, this is about security. You need to know it's coming before it becomes a threat. So you need some early warning systems and stuff like that. It's always good to have. But if you have the means, I would definitely do it. I guess that's it. Get ready. I told you March was going to suck, and it is. And get ready. It's going to be horrible. And if you think it's bad for some of us gassing up at the pump, think about the truckers. Because here's the thing. If a trucker has a freaking 150-gallon gas tank, well, not gas, but diesel tank, you know, those two round things on the side, when they fill those things up, I mean, that could cost some truckers $1,000 just to freaking fill those things up. That's like 150 gallons. I mean, you do the math on whatever it is in your neighborhood for diesel fuel that day. And not just gas. Don't skip the gas part. Go straight to diesel and see how much it costs to fill that truck up. And that just goes to show there's probably going to be a lot of trucks not making deliveries. And if a lot of those trucks are not making deliveries, and heck, there's a lot of farmers that probably don't even want to fire up a tractor right now just with the freaking cost of fuel. And that and the fertilizer issues, we are headed towards a food crisis. We are going to beat Venezuela overnight. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them fast. It's going to be real fast. And all we had to do was produce our own energy. Isn't that funny? That's all we had to do. All right. God bless you guys. I hope you guys stay safe. And God bless. Take care. Rainbows and unicorns. I almost forgot.